We are continuing to learn about quadratic equations. Yesterday we started graphing. Today we're going to analyze quadratic graphs. So we're just going to answer a few questions about these graphs, A and B. Number 1 says, what is the axis of symmetry for graph A? Remember, the axis of symmetry goes through the vertex. So for number 1, graph A, the vertex is at what? -2, -5, right? Is that a maximum or a minimum? Yes, that's a minimum value because everything else is above. The parabola is opening up. So that's your minimum value at y equals what? -5. The axis of symmetry is a vertical line going through your vertex. So what is the equation of the line for the axis of symmetry?
X equals -3 or 2?
-2. Is your x value of your vertex. Remember also to find the axis of symmetry is -b over 2a. If you have the equation, you can use that to find your x value, which is your axis of symmetry. It's also the x value of the vertex. All right, so for graph B, what is the axis of symmetry? Well, find the vertex, and then the vertex is at what? 3, 4. Is that a maximum or minimum value? That is your maximum at what point? Y equals 4. And so your axis of symmetry is a line going through the vertex. What is the equation of that line? X equals 3. Yeah, y equals 4, x equals 3. All right, so for graph A, what is the domain and range? For quadratic equations, we said yesterday that the domain is always all real numbers because these actually keep going up and out. These, your parabola, remember yesterday I said when you find your table of values, it doesn't end right there. It keeps going. I said make sure you put arrows on the ends of your graph. So these lines keep going. That means x can be anything. You can choose any x value you want and go up and find a point on that parabola. So the x values, the domain can be anything, all real numbers. What is the range of graph A?
Y is greater than
-5, yes. This is the lowest point right here. Your y value of your vertex. That's why we call it a minimum value. So the range of graph A is y is greater than or equal to -5. So that means the y values go from -5 up to positive infinity. That should be a bracket, not a parentheses, because that point is included in the range. But if you just want to write it like this, it's fine. Number 6, identify the domain and range of graph B. What is the domain? All reals, which means it will go from -infinity to positive infinity. And the range of graph B will be what? What's your highest point? Yes, we said the maximum value is y equals 4, so that means y can't be any greater than 4. It has to be what? less than or equal to 4. All right, number 7 and 8. Identify the equation for graph A. How do we figure out what the equation is? Well, I just looked at each equation and found the axis of symmetry, the x value of the vertex. Then I got my calculator, found the table, found the y value of the vertex, and checked. What's the vertex of graph A? -2, -5. So which one of these equations has a vertex at -2, -5? I found the vertex for each equation. Do you need to see me do that? Well, I did all 4 of them, A, B, C, and D, but I'll show you how.
It's D for X.
Yes. Let me just show you how to do that real quick, in case you don't remember from yesterday. So for this equation, x equals -b over 2a. B is 4, so the opposite of b is -4 over 2 times a. A is 1. Make sure you're checking that a value. It can be 1, -1. It can be whatever's in front of x squared is a. I saw some people just putting 2 times 1 on the bottom yesterday because they thought a was 1 all the time. Because that was one of the examples I did. No, you have to look at whatever is in front of x squared is your a value. Whatever is there in front of x squared is a. In this case, yes, it is 1. So it's 2 times 1. -4 divided by 2 is -2. That's your x value of your vertex. What is the y value of your vertex? How do you find that?
You put both of those equations.
Yes, you can get your table on your calculator, or you can put this x value back into this equation and solve for y. -2 squared is 4. 4 times 2 is -8. Minus 1 is what? -5. You can check that by finding a table on your calculator. Press table, enter the function. Y equals is already there for you. All you have to put is x squared plus 4x minus 1. Press enter until you get to the table. Find your x value of your vertex. And there it tells you that y is equal to -5. And that's what we're looking for.
Excuse the interruption. Can you send Cohen Williams for checkout, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, and then the last one, number 8. You try that one. Find the vertex of each of those answer choices, A, B, C, and D, and tell me which one is the equation for graph B. So for number 8, D is the correct equation. You have to check the vertex. Once you find that table on your calculator, you can check the other points too. But for number 8, D is the correct equation. Any questions? So for number 8, the answer is D. The vertex is 3, 4. All right, your assignment is homework 2. This is assignment number 3. And you're going to do 1 through 8.
Right, the bottom.